The competitor in me is dejected. And I got a locker room of guys that are competitors and they're used to winning. And that's what they knew last year. And, you know, in 29 games out of 34, we got a point or better. We got another point. Okay, that's the positive. You got to remember that, remind yourself that, but you can't be satisfied being up 4-2 and giving away 2 points. So the competitor in me is dejected, and those guys as well. The coach in me is very encouraged by a lot of the things I saw today. You know, the game is about both sides of the ball, 2 sides of the coin, right? You have the attacking side and you have the defending side. And the frustrating part is that I thought we actually defended very well overall in the day. Our pressure was relentless. I thought we were organized the majority of the game. You know, in any game against good teams and good players, you're going to give up some looks. But I thought for the majority of the game, we defended very well. We attacked very well. You know, I thought we controlled the game. We had our foot on their throat at 4-2. Could have got the 5th goal. Had several chances, but you shouldn't need to get the 5th goal. You're up 4-2. And for me, the way we played was encouraging, but the mistakes that we made in around our box, in around our backs, as encouraging as the performance was, that part of our team was very discouraging and concerning, because it's one thing if your organization is leading to mistakes. I don't think that's the case, because again, I thought overall the way we played allowed us to be, you know, allowed us to score 4 goals and allowed us to dominate large portions of that game and dictate the game. And the way the game was going at 4-2, there was no feeling with what the flow was doing and what you're feeling that the game was going to turn. And, you know, a game turns when players make mistakes around the goal. And I thought, you know, the 3rd goal for me has nothing to do with organization. It has to do with making plays, stopping a service, and tracking one of the best players on the field, Clint Dempsey. There's no excuse for a guy to be able to float to the back post and someone not pick him up, whether it's a midfield track and whether it's the back 4, you know, picking him up. But for him to be free on that goal, and for us to give up, you know, the cross, comes down to making plays. And we made some mistakes individually, critical mistakes individually that led to us giving up 4 goals. And you should never give up 4 goals, and obviously you should never tie a game when you score 4 goals. And I don't think it's an organization thing. It's an individual thing. We're making individual errors. Obviously a bit unlucky, another PK. But again, I've said this, you make your own luck. So coach and me, very encouraged, a lot of things to build on, a lot of positives. Diego Valeri, I thought was back to himself, absolutely toyed today. Got his first goal. He'll be unlocked. Maxi Rudy, I thought, really had a great game, got his first goal. I thought Khalif and Darlington were very good today. I thought the midfield, Will Johnson and Chara, were tremendous today. Alvis Powell, great game today. I thought there were some other guys that underperformed and make plays and made mistakes. And, you know, that's me being honest. And that needs to change, because you can't win games if you're going to make individual errors in critical moments. We got to be able to shut that game down, and shutting it down means you're making plays. You're stopping guys from serving. You're tracking runners. You know, because it's late in the game, you know guys are going to get a little bit more reckless and throwing numbers forward, throwing balls forward. And, you know, no matter what you do, you have to stop guys from getting service in the box. And you got to stop guys from being able to carve you up. Nothing to do with organization. It's, for me, about individuals stepping up and making plays.
Coach, which individual mistakes stick out most to you?
Well, I think, you know, obviously you look at, for me, 2nd goal. That's a self-inflicted goal. It should never happen. We're on the ball. We give it away. You know, our reaction needs to be better. also when the ball turns over, but that was a self-inflicted damage. Gave him the goal there. Set piece, got challenged the first ball. We didn't again react in the second ball. I thought first half was very good, but we made 2 big mistakes. Second half I thought was very good, but we made 2 more big mistakes. You cut those out, it's one of the best performances I've seen out of this team since I've been here. As dominant as I've seen, as much rhythm and control as I've seen. All 4 goals, electric. Performances out of most of the guys, as good as you're going to see. But there were also some really poor mistakes that led to goals. And I think the big one for me, too, is the 3rd goal. We're at 4-2. And Nagel, I thought, inserting him made a difference. We got to be able to shut guys down. 1v1, that's a part of the jobs of the outside backs, to be able to shut guys down. And they know that. Not telling anybody anything they don't know. Outside backs, you got to be able to stop guys 1v1. Okay, center halves, you got to be able to stop crosses and track runners and box defend and win balls in the box. If you don't do that, it's going to be really hard for you to be an outside back or a center half. And we have some guys that are capable of making those plays that aren't. And that's an individual thing that we got to sort out. How we sort that out, you got one of 2 things. You either change the players, right, or you keep working on it. But there's been a couple alarming trends where we're making critical mistakes that shouldn't happen at this level. Should not happen.
Can you talk about this? You guys have given up now a lot of PKs this year. Is that just unlucky? Is that, and how do you stop those?
I don't know. I haven't seen the call, so it's hard for me to say if it's a good call or bad call. I don't know why we only gave up, I think, last year, the entire year, 4 PKs. We've already given up 4, I think, already in 5 games. So why is that? Part maybe it's poor calls, part maybe why we're in this situation, a part is why aren't we stopping guys and moving our feet instead of diving in and then putting the ref in a position to make a call. Unfortunate, to have to pull Darlington out of the game. He just cramped up, and for me, I don't think that helped us. But again, we can all manage hindsight united. We'd all be undefeated managing hindsight united. Okay, and you wish you can go back and change things. These are things that you reflect on. But at the end of the day, it's my job to sort it out. And every game, you're sorting things out, mistakes, by one of 3 things. You're either changing personnel, you're either changing, your organization, structure, system, game plan, okay, or you're reinforcing things better in training. So those are things that certainly I'll look at and reflect on. And I think we made some good moves for this game. Thought Alvis really helped us and brought a little bit more team speed and more width. I thought Khalif was very good today. So like I said, there's a lot of really encouraging things to build on. But ultimately, you can't win games unless you have guys in the back part of your team that are shutting people down and making plays and stopping the opponent from making plays.
Can you talk about Diego Chara's performance, and have you talked to him more about taking more shots?
No, I haven't really talked to him more about taking more shots. Will and Chara, obviously, they pick and choose their moments to bomb on and to get in the attack. With the front 3 and then attacking mid, we need the 5th number there or 5th number with the outside back. So we talk about them picking moments to make late runs and get forward. And, he gets forward quite a bit. He's missed some chances over his career. But for him to smack 2 goals from the top of the 18, that's a real positive. And again, if we weren't getting good performances out of guys, I'd be really worried. But I thought if I'm rating my players, the majority of them, you're getting an 8 or a 9 out of the majority of the players today. But the problem is there's a couple guys that probably a 5 or 6 or less. So, and that ultimately led to goals given up.
Coach, you've been very patient with the team's mistakes in March. Can you very even keel. Would it be fair to say that after today you're starting to lose some of that patience?
No, I mean, I'm always the duck on top of the water that's paddling away underneath, so I'm never going to completely show my moods and emotions like I show my team. And so they know exactly where they stand, and they know, when I'm not happy and when I am happy. I try to have an honest dialogue with them where they know when I tell them it's good, when it's bad, and there's a trust there. And because I'm honest and I don't spin it too positive or too negative, but try to be spot on, then they listen and they know that it's, for the most part, accurate and needs to change. So, you got some guys over there hanging their heads that know they didn't do good enough, and it's a big reason why we didn't get it done today. It's not that I'm going to abandon them, but there also needs to be accountability at this level as well. And to be a professional player, you're looking for certain things in certain roles, and just like the attackers, it's their job to create goals, and I thought they were tremendous. Our attack, not even just in the attack, but in terms of their pressure and our overall play and organization, I thought was fantastic. But there were too many times where guys got loose in around the box, and we're not getting guys making plays enough there.
Fernandez out of the lineup this time, and obviously it did much better in this game than they've done the entire season. What led to that decision?
Well, I think winning and creating in the attack a lot of times comes down to chemistry, and there have been injuries and things. This was another game where, I had my hands tied a little bit with a few guys, but overall, I just felt like we needed a bit more width, a little bit more team speed, a little bit more 1v1 ability wide. And it has nothing to do with me demoting Gaston Fernandez. It has everything to do with me trying to have a sense and a feel of what the best chemistry would be. And I thought the moves helped, and we played better in the attack, and we pressed better as well. And that's a big part of our DNA. It's being dynamic. It's certainly being skillful and intelligent in how we connect and combine. But you have to be dynamic, 1v1, and you have to be dynamic in penetrating and moving off the ball. If you don't, then you become, you die in beauty. You have too much of the ball, and you don't penetrate enough, and you don't have enough purpose, and you don't create enough. So I think having two wingers that run at guys and wingers that get behind helped us today. And I also think the pressure and the energy there, which is another part of our DNA, is the defending side and our pressure. And I thought that was better today. I thought Will Johnson, he was himself. Chara, these two guys. So there's not much that I'm worried about, but there's a couple big things that I'm worried about. But it's my job to correct those things, and I will correct them.
Coach, did you make any special preparations for Clint during the weekend? How do you think those were executed if you did?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we talk about every opponent and the key players, and for me it's about managing his movement, and I thought we did that pretty well, but he got loose a few times and he punished us, and we can't let that happen. But I thought overall he didn't get going a ton. It was mostly late when they pushed a bunch of numbers forward, and we didn't pick his runs out of midfield up enough. I think again it comes down to are we tracking him? Are we picking him up as he gets in the back line? But he got himself, I think, freed up there late by playing a little bit more direct. But I thought the majority of the game we managed him well, but he showed why he's one of the best players in our country.
Thanks, everyone.